to continue from where we last left off last week, the guards await the response from the group to see who choose to speak to Amiyumi. Once it has been decided that Kalani will step forward, um, the one guard escorts Kalani down the hallway, and that is the last you see of Kalani. At the moment, her comm unit is turned off. And the remaining guards that are all with you says, so who here actually has a ticket to the show?
I mean, we tried to buy one from a scalper.
He's like, nah, I'm just messing with you. No, the performance is going to start soon. I can try to get you like front row once we get over there, but we would have to leave immediately.
I'm so glad that I did a breakdance on two of your guys' backs and apparently got me front row seats. I've learned how to get front row seats. Just crush people.
Just tap dance on people's backs and you get front row seats.
Oh, I've never felt so refreshed and limber.
I'll be back in a sec. I gotta run and do something.
Yep.
Okay. This is gonna be interesting. So
No.
they say, so we're gonna head towards back towards the mill. However, when we do get there, we will need to confiscate your weapons again. There's no weapons allowed into the stadium. So if you like, you can hand it to us now, or you can hand it to us when we arrive there.
I give him my sniper rifle.
And can I say that I never actually drew my weapon, so it's been staying in its temporal pocket?
I never pulled out my my laser rifle, so it's still a disc in my pocket.
The decision to do that or not is up to you. If you want to reveal it, if they haven't seen it, they're going to assume you don't have it. They look for, obvious like pistol along the holster, or like a sniper rifle, or
On the back, yeah.
Weapon on the back, or
I'm just gonna show them my hands, and I got nothing.
I'm gonna hand over my sniper rifle because it's too obvious.
Toner would hand over his magma blade and semi-auto handgun.
They take it. Thank you very much. Now we need to make haste and head over this way. I feel like I need to explain what I was going to do at this point, since Kalani's not here. It's going to ruin that element of surprise I was going to have going. But Kalani would have had to talk to Amiyumi to get the signatures. What was going to happen was, and I'm going to say this is canon when Kalani returns, is that one of the two members is currently sick, and the one member says, I will gladly give you a signature if you can fill my place for the performance.
Oh no.
Oh God. How is that gonna work?
The second member would only have would have heard this conversation being held and said, listen, I'm not as soft as the other one. I will give you a signature on a good performance.
Oof.
Oof.
While this is happening, I was going to say that Kalani's comm unit is turned on so that the rest of the party can hear this, and with you all being escorted to this arena, I was going to initiate a skill challenge. Kalani being for the performance, and the rest of the party to kind of build up a either fake or real name for a guest appearance. Like, oh, have you guys heard about,
So Kalani the Destroyer.
Yeah, as a group, you have to build up like this reputation for a Kalani, and then Kalani has to kill it, or your people in the audience as well. You need to live
Why?
up.
Why do you want me so badly in debt? Why you do this to me? Oh gosh.
That was the buildup I was going to do, but since Kalani's not here, I can't really do the whole performance thing. But I can still have the skill challenge from your party to try to make this an easier performance for Kalani. Otherwise, people are going to be like, "Who's this person I've never heard of on stage, and why are they replacing X?"
Mm-hmm.
So, I was going to use time on both ends to kind of build up to it, but I'm just going to tell you the short end of it because I'm still going to make it a skill challenge.
Alrighty.
Did Matt hop back in?
Yes, Nats is back in.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you the short version of what's going on. The group, everyone except for Kalani, is being escorted front row over to the performance area, the stadium, quote unquote. What you would have heard from Kalani is that the group known as Amiyumin or Amiyumi, aka AMPM, that one of the members has grown sick and will not be able to put on a performance, and that the member Ami would have said, "If you take my spot in this performance, I will give you a signature."
Oh.
And then the other member, you would have responded, "Look, I'm not as soft as Ami, but this our reputation is very high. I will give you a signature on a good performance. If it does not meet that standard, I will refuse to give you a signature." Now, Kalani isn't here, so I can't play that part per se. I'm gonna have to retcon back to this point in our campaign at some point in time. However, with the party hearing about this and being escorted to the stadium, I had a skill challenge for Kalani for the performance, and I had a skill challenge for the rest of the party members to try to either build up like a fake Elias or like some reputation for Kalani as like this all-time like ancient singer or new up-and-coming rapper or instrumentalist or whatever you prefer, and your scores would affect how easy or difficult the performance would be.
Yeah, and I think I know what Snow would have done in that case. Pretty much like
I don't
making
even know what I can do.
I mean, Snow's thing would be to basically make a false web page and like put like false hits and stuff on it to have something for people to look up.
That's cool. I can do a backflip.
I can also do a backflip.
I mean,
I can also make a fire.
Snow could do several backflips in the air, but
I mean, I do have a spell called Song of the Cosmos.
that sounds
Now,
really
is that
fucking
an
fancy.
attack? What does that do exactly?
If memory serves, people have to make a save or be fascinated.
Okay, that could definitely help.
That could help.
That could definitely help. It's either that or I use my super cool piloting skills.
Or,
Like-
go around, like, just being loud, talking up the
I
person
can't,
and get
though.
them...
I literally can't talk.
Fuck, yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just
Same.
running around. Fuck you, ass shit, bitch! Just running around.
Yeah, I have a
cursing at
13
people.
diplomacy that might as well be like a 0 right now.
That's the problem. If I didn't have this affliction, I might be able to do something, but I can't. I can only do arbitrary things like a backflip.
We could maybe offer to like, I don't know, get in contact with like their wardrobists and like be backup dancers in the background.
Oh, sweet
But
God,
I don't
kill
think
me.
Gunner would like that. I don't think
I
Gunner.
would absolutely hate that, but something tells me, knowing that it's either that or I have to deal with $100,000 debt on my head, I would he would begrudgingly, like, seethingly do it.
What does it take to make Gunner dance?
Also, doesn't help that
100,000 credits
I
of
will
debt.
still not take off the mask. The mask stays. It has to be a part of the wardrobe.
That's right. We can Daft Punk it.
Daft Punk meets Tommy and Yumi.
Oh gosh, the ultimate crossover.
I'm all for it.
Oh god, is because I hate it and I feel like I'm dying. Can I use survival as my role?
Alright.
Oh, okay. I didn't think you would actually take that.
There's
Okay.
a big crowd out there, you know?
It's true, and he's not a person to be in big crowd. Well, he likes being in a big crowd to not be seen. He doesn't like being seen by the big crowd. Okay. I mean, tell us what we gotta do to get these rolled, because currently, that's me and the toner's thing. If we can become that, if they'll allow it.
Okay. Let me do a
Since neither of us can
initiative
fucking talk.
tracker.
Why are we rolling initiative, Brandon?
It's not an initiative per se. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a skill challenge that I'm going to do, but I'm gonna, I guess, kind of make like an order. Like I'm gonna take this skill, I'm gonna take this skill, I'm gonna take this skill, and go down the line that way.
Oh boy.
I'm not worried about the initiative roll per se. Let me just take care of this. It's just hard because it's like I said, most of the session is gonna kind of be like me rolling with the punches because I was like, oh, I can make this work, and now it's like, oh, I gotta fake a performance.
Gotta dance for my money.
Yeah, if you do good with the dancing, then you would be the tigers from Zootopia.
Oh, kill me. Please.
Throw that
Initiative roll.
Wear that ass back, Gunner.
I hate you, and I will kill you again.
What the fuck?
Oh god, I'm gonna try this just to see.
Oh no!
Oh!
What the fuck? That's a 16.
Wait. I'm still getting my dice. I have to roll.
I mean,
That's a low roll for me.
Oh! What are we rolling for?
Initiative, I guess?
Well, I didn't need an initiative roll per se. I was gonna just assign a skill challenge, but
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I was
yeah.
not understanding.
Okay,
As
because
a
I saw the list and I saw oh, I guess we're doing initiative.
I will roll my own dice for my own stuff. I'm not using this online bullshit.
yeah, that's the only online roll I'm gonna do today. Just a
You just
fucking
can't.
nat
You
one.
can't control it. You just can't. With that.
So on the initiative tracker, I can write down like what skill is being used
Oh, I see.
here. So as a skill, as a skill is being used, I'm gonna write it here so everyone knows what skill cannot be used. There's a big rave of people, just people of all different shapes, sizes, ready to enjoy this concert. All the like beginning acts are beginning to die down, and it's almost time for the main event. This plays on that time like thing that I was going to do last session where I was like, oh, you got 45 minutes. So the show is about to start, and it's like saying like you have less than 5 minutes to kind of build this reputation up. All these skills are happening simultaneously. What are you going to contribute? And it has to be 4 successes before 3 failures. And that's 4. So if all 4 of you knock one out, wait, let me take Joe's out for right now.
Yeah, I have two possibles that I could do between making a web page to really build up Kalani, and then engineering to help with the lights and the pyrotechnics and all that stuff.
Depending on which stat you want to use for dancing, I could do either acrobatics or athletics.
I can only do acrobatics and survival.
I can help the actual performance, or I can do like special effects with my magic.
With the Chasmas.
Chasmas!
You won with the Chasmas.
Good.
And just stand amongst the entire crowd and hit them with that spell.
Duh?
It's like
Even-
the orb of secret.
Even the freaking like attendants at the different stalls are like, "Oh, we gotta get in on this."
The orb of confusion.
Fudge you and your $5 beer. I gotta watch this.
This was planned to be like one of the goofier sessions.
Everything's
see
been so
why.
heavy and traumatic that, yeah, we kind of
Right.
need a goofier session.
Exactly.
Still be very traumatic if this doesn't work.
We need a light, happy session. Last session, having got her shit rocked by a paint can.
That was funny though, because we realized Kevin McAllister is on the security force.
Jesus
That
Christ.
was
All
pretty
my
funny
stamina
and
points.
Alone was
unexpected
never
for a
made.
paint can to do that much damage.
Home Alone never got made, and so Kevin McAllister never had an opportunity to do it to some random guard, some random people invading his house, so he brought it to the stage.
Oh,
Kevin McAllister versus Jigsaw. Who would
Oh
win?
god.
I mean, chances are Jigsaw, because Kevin McAllister, though he injures, he hasn't really
He hasn't killed
maimed
yet.
or killed.
Well, technically, a lot of the things he did do should have killed. It's just because of the context of it being a child's movie, they decided
Yeah.
that a paint can straight to the face did not, fracture a skull.
And
That-
throw 3 bricks at someone's head from a 3-story building.
that's
Tetanus
because
shots
Kevin-
from nails in the feet.
That's because Kevin McAllister isn't a murderer with a shitty philosophy.
Yeah, he's just a kid with a mental
No,
breakdown.
but you don't understand. Jigsaw's never killed a single person. I hate that argument so much.
So
He
dumb.
really gave them the means to save themselves.
I mean, technically, he did kill at least one person when he closed the door on the one guy, locking him in the room.
That's true. He allowed it to happen.
It was by his direct action that had caused the guy to die.
Also, putting people in death traps where they have to maim themselves to escape.
Yeah, but they chose to do that, Like, they didn't have to, but they did.
And they
So it's
kinda
not his
did-
fault that, they had to cut off their arms and stuff. They made that decision so they could survive, but that's their decision.
They kind of did. They were kind of forced to make that decision. When you have a gun to your head and are told to do something, you kind
They
of
could've-
don't have much of a choice.
They all had a choice of, just let it happen, just die, He didn't. He just kind of put them in a place, and they had to make a decision. But that was their decision, Just maybe you guys are gonna choose not too much. Maybe you guys are gonna be okay.
I'm just wondering how high your voice is gonna get.
Pretty much as high as that. That's pretty much as far as I can go.
Wasn't that- Like the first time I met you, I didn't know who you were, and I was like, "Oh, voice act, nice."
I do like to do my voices. It is one of my things.
All right, let me take a look at the skills. Acrobatics, athletics. If you were trying to take the dance route, I'll accept either or both of those. Obviously, the charismatic skills would be helpful, but that is one thing our party lacks.
I have charismatic skills.
I do have a 13 diplomacy, but since I can't talk without people calling the cops on me right now, I don't know if that would help.
Exactly.
No, you just yell it, and they'll think it's just death metal.
Whoa, who's that guy?
It just scream
Yeah,
into the
there's 100%.
microphone and let the band follow up.
Overshadow Kalani. Wrote the wrong person.
Oh god.
That's a good plan B.
Bluff. The website, I'll make that a computer's check.
Yep.
Culture. I'm just going down the skills, seeing what I can maybe offer as an idea. Let's see. Culture, diplomacy, disguise. You can kind of use culture to use maybe other well-known artists or bands and be like, yeah, they've collaborated with this person. And if you decide to do computers, maybe put that in the info or bio of Kalani.
Yeah, Snow is not cultured at all.
Diplomacy, disguise. You could be a fan of Kalani's and maybe take the disguise route and be like, oh, like, look at these garbs. Like, you will not find this in Absalon Station. I'm a number one fan. Or
Just like, hey, you won't find this fashion anywhere because the last people who made it are friggin' dead.
They were killed in a freak accident with a nuke in a hotel. Freak accident.
Completely an
Yeah.
accident.
Completely an accident. No one could have suspected it.
But
Bring intimidate. I don't see a way life science would help.
I don't think of anything. Unless we bring like a tiger onto the stage or something.
hell yeah.
I may tie in if you try to take a route of like giving some type of drug or someone to someone as a medical check, maybe.
If only we had the moon rocks.
Oh shit! If only we put that in the air supply. Put it into the fog machine.
Just start handing it out during the concert. Get people
Free
fucking
drug.
high in the mosh pit.
They asked us for our weapons, but not for our weed.
Not our hyperleaf.
Ugh, snap my ankle.
Perception, physical science, piloting,
Shit.
profession, sense, sleight of hand, stealth, survival.
If I could make piloting work, but I can't think of.
Quick, grab one of those airplanes with like the banners that fly.
That's what
over
I like. I
beaches.
was like, if we have a ship, maybe I could do a light show of some sort with that. But
You just
or
lower
just, like,
the
have a
Pyrrhic
projector
victory over the
thing.
stadium.
Like I said, with the computers and engineering, that should be easy enough for Snow. As for the rest of it, debatable at
I mean,
best.
that's the thing. Piloting is my top skill. That's an 18 automatic. But I can't think of anything quick. Well, thinking. You know, if you can get it, we might be able to do something with drones.
I was just putting that on the map. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see anything. I was just like, wait a minute. Piloting doesn't just have to be a ship. It could literally be anything that's flying, or even like a land vehicle. But I'm like, drones.
You are not making Jubilee do a performance.
That's fine. I'm not saying you do a performance, but I maybe can do the performance with the drones. Like if they're acrobatical, I can do some crazy stuff with them. I just need access to them.
And there's someone who's capable of that.
Hey Snow. I want to do the Blue Angels.
I
Yeah, but-
have a job for you.
I guess we could see what the computer, either computer engineering role would turn out for that.
I mean, yeah, let's see if we can do it. And if not, I'll decide if I'm able to do Piloting or survival or acrobatics? Who's here? Is it?
Hey guys.
Hey, you
Hey.
made it.
I just got home from shopping with my mom.
Hurry, get in here. You got something to do.
Alright,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah,
I'm on
you
my
do.
way.
You have a lot of something to do.
Yeah, don't say nothing. Just let Brendan do it.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I know I had to make that decision, didn't I?
We had fast forward a bit from making the decision to see them. Now we have another mission.
Oh, okay.
But he'll probably run it through with you first. So
Alright, I'm coming. Here I am.
coming.
Alright. I'm here. Alright, I'm in.
Okay. So before we do any of this, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm doing okay. I was just laying down relaxing. As I said, I went shopping with my mom. And I had to put my eye surgery off until the end of the month.
Mm.
So yeah, fun.
Okay. So I will not lie to you. They have a bit of insight of what is going to happen because I wasn't sure if you was going to show up. So I think they will stay silent through most of this. They
Yeah,
kind
we're
of
gonna
are.
just keep quiet.
They kind of already know the result of what is going to happen for your character, but
Okay.
you may gain some insight to stuff that they wouldn't have known if you didn't show up.
Right.
So
Because I am who I am, what I am.
as a group, they elected you to be the representative, and have since then sent you to go forward to go talk to Ami and Yumi.
Okay.
The one guard is going to escort you, the same guard that kind of gave you a hard time from the start.
Yeah.
His ribs are still intact and everything. So he says, okay, well, you can come along with me now. And he just starts a little bit of small conversation. He's like, hey, so just between you and I'm sorry about what happened back then. I'm just doing my job. And, well, it seemed like a really fake ticket.
That's okay, man. Don't worry about it. Water under the bridge. I understand you were doing what you were supposed to be doing.
So I'm gonna make it up to you. I'm gonna take you directly to them. In this room, as you pass one of the doors to your left, is in this room is all the fans that have the golden tickets here. They are in their dressing room, so just be polite, be yourself. They may not like you approaching them, but with me being here, maybe they'll be nice this time.
That's okay.
I don't really need to go back to the other map. I'll do it just for the sake of showing some stuff.
It's okay.
All right, everything still should be seen. So he's going to escort you all the way towards the end. I'm going to delete all this extra stuff we don't need anymore. So he begins to he continues taking you down the hallway. The sound of the cobblestones kind of change the closer you get towards their dressing room. It's instead of being like a cobblestone town, it's a bit more of like a stone material placed there, but the stones do have cracks as well. As you start to approach, you hear them kind of just humming this tune, the both of them. It's their harmony sounds slightly off when you approach them. The guard steps out of like the way of view so that way you could see them face to face. And directly placed in front of you are both Ami and Yumi. They already look they look dressed in a red, purple. One is wearing like a straight red and like fuchsia color fusion with white in it. The other one is wearing like a purple and silver fusion with white in it as well. The one to your right, the one with the purple, is going to be Yumi. The one with the like fuchsia and red is going to be Ami. In this case, this one is going to be Ami. There, the other one's going to be Yumi. Yumi appears to sound like doesn't her harmony sounds slightly off. The song that they're singing you are unfamiliar with, but it's easy to spot that there's something wrong with like her tone. And once they spot you, Yumi says like, "What do you want?"
Hey, what are you doing in my swamp?
Stop that.
Oh, it sounds like
Someone needs to lay off the smokes.
I could have made it worse. You know, I could have, Mads. In fact, I will. Are you Mike Wazowski?
No.
Oh no. I'm sorry, I'll be quiet.
I was asked to come here to get a couple. If I'm able to get a couple signatures from you. We had a situation where a doctor had to help one of my compatriots with something, and because he had to help, he ended up having to stay late and help. He wasn't able to come to your concert tonight with his two kids who apparently love you adoringly. And so, in lieu of payment, he's asking us if we could get your autographs for him for his kids. And so, this gentleman that came and brought us helped, understood our plight and helped us with being able to come and meet you real quick.
The Yumi, the one with like the lower tone that just spoke to you, turns her head from looking to you to looking to the guard that is on your left. She goes, "Is this true?" And the guard says, "Look, he looks over to you, and you can see he's not trying to mention anything that happened with the previous encounter, and he
Yeah,
kind of looks
I was doing the same thing. And
says,
I have to mention that.
"Look, they've he says they, and then as soon as he realized he said they, he like, I'm sorry. This fan of yours has come quite a long way. There were several friends. They all didn't have the golden ticket, but I feel that this was justified. It sounds like it could be for a cause of some sort, something that we could help the people with here. So I told her, again, he's trying to make sure he's not saying anything to mention that there's more of you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help her with just this cause. I don't feel like it would be too much of harm for just like a signature from the both of you. Is this something you're able to do? He says, "Well, we still need to practice our performance. Is this something that can wait till after the show?" And Yumi kind of like pushing off what the guard says, like, "Look, I don't know what you mean by good cause. This sounds like a rejected Girl Scouts like excuse for trying to get some signatures. We have hardcore dedicated fans that would pay top dollar for our signatures." And Ami says, "Well, I mean, we can't really go against our guard though. Like he's been with us his whole tour." And she's like, Yumi's like, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, can I see your golden ticket? I didn't see you with the group of others that were here just a minute ago, and directly behind you, right here is supposed to be a door. I deleted it, but right here,
Okay.
the doors open up. A sound from another guard says, "Amiyumi, you're going to be up in 10 minutes." And the door closes behind them. They're like, "All right, we really need to get ready."
What's
They
happening to you?
turn over. They kind of both turn their back to you. Just kind of grab some makeup. Some of them kind of puts like lipstick on their lips. Yumi kind of just like something about this plan I'm just really not liking. I don't know why we made an exception to play here. And Ami says, well, we have fans from all over. We have to do it. Like, that's how we continue to be as famous as we are. And go ahead.
Excuse me, Yumi, are you by chance sick or ill? I might be able to help with that.
Huh? Is this? And she takes a look over at you. And she's like, I'm not sick. I just don't.
That cough doesn't sound too good.
I'm not sick. I just don't like the atmosphere of this planet.
Mm.
Make a sense motive.
Are they also like Lashantas, or what race are they?
What Lashantas?
They're both Lashantas.
Give me a sense motive. What happened to you, Yumi? Used to be about the show. Now it's all about money. You've lost your way.
Let me hold on. Sense motive here. Let me pull up my Starfinder.
Used to be about the show.
Hmm?
I'm still laughing at that. Used to be about the show.
It used to be about the show, the fans. Now it's all about the money. You've lost it.
Alright, sense motive is a plus 12. Okay. So, 20. Come on. Rolling the dice. There we go.
Right. She's lying between her teeth. She has come down with something, but you can tell she just has her guard against you. Like she just she doesn't know you. She mentioned the golden ticket and hasn't seen it. She's either, she's feeling some type of way towards you where she doesn't really want to let you in, where it feels like, oh, like this is some rejected Girl Scout excuse. So she's down. She has come down with something, but she's not gonna state it. Not in front of her, what could be business partner or other musician, and not in front of her guard. She doesn't seem like she's gonna state it to
a rando.
I asked Yumi, what, real quick, it's like a minute, 2 tops. Can I speak with just you in private real quick? Because I can understand that she's trying to not. I'm like, I understand that, and so I'm like trying to make it easier for her to let me know that she is sick, even though she's playing it off that she's not.
To kind of assist with you, Ami also says, look, like this is one of our fans. You just see what's up. I mean, she got past the guard. She's unarmed. Like, there's nothing she can do to us back here.
As far as you know.
Yumi, although hesitant at first, says, "Fine." And she steps towards you. She wants to go into this other, I guess, alcove-ish area, like this other desk.
Yeah, that's fine. We can go over to that area, and when we're away from everybody, it's like, look, I'm a mystic. I know that you're not well and you're feeling sick. I can help with that. I know how to heal. It might help you at least start feeling better, if not already feeling all the way better. I have some medicinals on hand that can help.
She
If you don't mind, I understand that you guys are professionals and you're a singer, and it seems like this illness might be messing with your vocals a little bit, and so I could probably help with that if you let me check you over real quick.
She seems a bit hesitant at first, and I'm going to make a quick sense motive check.
And I'm being sincere about it, and that I'm like, I understand that she is ill.
It's easy from where your character is standing. It's easy to kind of spot that the one guard that was standing next to you has stood in your spot and is somewhat eavesdropping in on your conversation. He seems to just want to be in the know, just to make sure security-wise everything's okay. But you can see him over. You can see him over like this lip of the corner, like looking in the direction of you and her. You're pretty sure he probably can hear bits and pieces of it, if not all of it, but he's just paying attention. She listens to what you have to say, and her back has been turned to you this whole time. She kind of like, her shoulders were raised. She kind of lowers them a bit and kind of looks at you from the corner of her left eye. And she says, do you know what it's like being an icon? What is your name?
My name is Kalani.
You know what it's like being an icon and how hard it is to always try to have a happy fan base?
Personally, no, but I'm an envoy, so I kind of have a good idea. I'm an envoy and a mystic, so I have a pretty good idea, but I don't have the full knowledge of what an icon is like.
I didn't choose that theme.
I didn't choose that theme.
I'm sorry, I had to say it.
But I can understand, and that's why I'm wanting to help you. I can tell that you're sick, and that could throw off what you're doing. Hopping from place to place doing tours is probably not easy in the slightest. And I have a kind of an understanding of how that goes. I've been hopping around myself doing odd jobs.
She at this point she's fully turned. She's looking directly at you. It's not from the corner of her eye. Her shoulders aren't nearly as tense. She seems a bit relaxed, and she's like, "You want to know what's the hardest part of my job?" every performance that we do.
And I believe that. I totally believe that. It's not easy, you know, putting on performances for fans who apparently you have tons of them that adore you. And if I can do something that might make you feel better so you can be more available for your fans, I would love to try. If you let me.
She gives out a big sigh. She looks like she had like a lot of emotion kind of bottled in. She just gives that big sigh and says, "The hardest part about my job, yes, it's hard to have fans that adore you, that like look at every move you do. Some criticize you, and some just see you as like a leader, or like you're a musician. Some just looking at you just for your looks. But the hardest part of my job, you see her tone at this point is beginning to lower. Even the guard that's placed in the back right corner is kind of slumping out a little bit more from the corner to here. She says, the hardest part of my job though is to, no matter what type of feeling or emotion that I have, is that I need to keep her happy. And she points in the direction of where Ami is, but the wall separates where she's pointing, but she's keeping her happy. Every performance that we do is the hardest part of my job. I used to think it was for the fans and the fame and just the glamour, the glitz, and all this, and it was a good run, but I worry about the safety of her. I can't let her down. I haven't told her that a few performances ago I severely strained my voice. I try to look all over the web to see what type of cure I can do to fix it. The only good news that I got out of it is if I don't sing as hard or as much, it'll heal just through time. After tonight, we have two more performances to get through before our tour is over. And I'm afraid if I pull my voice tonight, that will be the end of AM PM. And I can't do that to her. If you want to help me, and if you want my signature, I need you to fill in my spot.
I'm gonna do a quick medicine check on her.
Love it.
1, 3, 20.
Brandon.
Yes.
I'm assuming that I'm listening in over the comms.
Yeah, because I kind of have the comm open so I can find out the name.
Can I do a computer's check to try to verify what she's saying, either through like a medical documentation or the likelihood of cases like that?
I mean,
Let's
I
hope
have
they don't have HIPAA from her planet.
even personally out of game, I understand that concept because I've been there, done that. I am a singer, so I feel for her even in real life.
Oh yeah, out of game, I know about that too, and how it can run rampant through a lot of musical industry.
Oh God.
But Snow, on the other hand, who doesn't really know that much about the musical industry.
See, I mean, and the thing is with my character, she kind of does know, and she can sing. She doesn't know how good she is at singing because she's never really sung for other people.
Just lip sync. No one will ever be able to tell the difference.
Avril Lavigne did it, right?
I'm like, I have a little bit of singing. And it's like, as I'm doing that medicine check on her, I'm like, do know how to sing a little bit.
I got a 33 on computers, by the way.
I
Holy.
can try to fill in for you. I mean, it's going to be hard to make me look like a Lashunta, though. But I can do disguises pretty well.
So I'm gonna go with the check. So when you kind of take a look at her from a distance now at this point, you do see that she looks to be heavily layered with makeup along her face and like her arms and her legs, everything that looks to be exposed. But since you're a bit like more close, like since you're closer to her at this point, you do see this red rash kind of along her both of her arms and both of her legs. When you look at it on like a medicine perspective, it does resemble scarlet fever.
Oh. And I'm like, I turned to her, like, yeah. I hate to say this, Yumi, but you you have scarlet fever. I'm surprised nobody else has shown symptoms. I'm not sure how long you've had these symptoms, but the rash and the coughing and all that. Yeah, we really need to get you healed up, sweetie.
And she just looks and she's like, well, I guess you saw through some of my disguise, but yeah, I just haven't been feeling really good, and I've been secluding myself from everyone here. I wouldn't let the guards get too close to me, and I skipped out on my lunch time with Ami, and I'm just not ready to admit that to her, especially when we're about to go on right now. I can't break her heart like that.
I can help you tell her. And how long have you noticed these symptoms?
About 4 days ago, my skin felt weird, and since then I've just been putting a lot of more makeup than normal, and she's complimented me, so I just never had a moment to bring it.
Yeah, that's about the normal incubation period. Where were you before this?
Where was I before this? I mean, I don't know. You mean like what planet was I?
Yes, like before you came here for this show tonight. Where were you previously?
Well, we did I would say, we did that performance that we did. We actually played on the sun, and that was a really cool show that we did. It was very unique. I've never got to go on the sun until then, but since then we've went to, let me see, we hit Castrovel for a little while, and then we hit Absalon Station.
And how long have you been here on Absalom?
This is our second day. We arrived here yesterday. Our performance is today, and we technically leave tomorrow. Although they are not visually in front of you, the door opens again. You say 5 minutes to the performance, and she says, "All right, if we need to tell her.
We need to get you on some medicines, and you need to be on total. You pretty much need to be quarantined, so nobody else can get sick from this because it is contagious. And I can get you on medicines and stuff to help you start feeling better."
I would
Because
appreciate.
it's only going to get worse, and people can die from
Yeah,
this if it's not taken care of properly.
we cannot let that happen.
No, we can't let that happen. It looks like you two are very close to each other. I think she'd understand.
She's like the older sister I wish I always had.
Are you like sisters or best friends or?
We're best friends, but through our performances, we felt more or less like sisters.
And I would probably want to check her out and make sure that she hasn't caught it. And I probably would like to check some of your main guards too that have been like really around you the last probably about week. The ones that have been like really like within 6 feet of you. I would probably want to check them out to make sure too.
You see just this very concerned look on her face, and she turns towards you. She reaches as if she wants to like grab your arms to say something. She stops immediately. She says, "Look, can we? The performance is going to be in 5 minutes or less. Can we tell her afterwards? Can we just tell her that you said I'm sick and that you are going to take my place? I'm afraid to affect her. She's so much positive energy, and I would hate to affect her performance last minute like this."
Yeah, I mean, the sooner the better. Because I know you guys are supposed to be on, and then, I mean, she can make a decision. I know it would be last minute type thing, but I can try to stand in for you if that's what you guys want me to do.
I would appreciate that so much, and I would gladly give you that signature, just for being so helpful and not like a groupie like the other group.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. I do like a really quick I do a really quick mystic cure, the high level mystic cure on her to help out.
Okay.
I'll help her a little bit, and then it's like, okay, let's go and.
Okay. She's gonna take a few steps closer towards Ami at this. I'm gonna bring your character over as well.
Yeah. Ami, we have a little bit of a situation.
She's you can see she's super excited. She was just finishing up, maybe practicing a routine of some sort, and she like loses balance for a second and says, yeah, what's up? What happened?
I have some medicine. I have medicine knowledge because I'm a mystic, and I did a check on your friend here. She has scarlet fever.
And you just see immediately Yumi just like palms her head and like says under her breath, like afterwards.
Ooh.
She really needs to rest, and she's asked me to take her place on stage.
He kind of just being like a big ball of energy at most times, looks over to Yumi, says, Yumi, is this true? And Yumi cannot look her in the eyes at this point. She refuses to. and kind of slowly just starts walking this way. Without saying a word to either of you two or the guard.
She really feels bad about it, and she apparently has kept this from you for a few days now, trying to blow it off. But because of my medicine background, I was able to see through it. She really needs to rest and be quarantined.
You see, just she looks distraught.
And I'm like, I know this is really bad news, and you guys are just about ready to go on. That's why I'm like, she wants me to take her place. I'm not sure how well I'm going to do, but I mean, I do know how to sing.
Yeah, the old chef, sorry. She's really distraught. You can see she's like not emotionally stable right now. She took in a pretty big hit from what you just told her right now, and she looks drained. That ball of energy that you saw every conversation you had with her is not there right now. The doors open up again and say, "All right, it's time for the performance," and she's dragging her feet going in this direction.
Well, this is gonna be a great start to the show.
It's gonna be great.
I mean, if you want to go on with the show, but that's up to you. As I said, I'll do my best and whatnot. Apparently, Yumi is the lower voice of the two of you. I mean, it's up to you. It's like I know your fans will understand if you guys are unwell. It
Do
happens.
it for Yumi.
But I'm willing to help you guys out in whatever way I can. You have to let me know what you would like me to do.
She looks over towards you. She said, "Look, I'm gonna have this discussion with Yumi later, but what is your name, or what is your stage name? I will just announce you as my assistant, or I will announce you as a guest performer alongside with me. The fans may not be so happy, but they paid good money. I can't cancel on the right when I'm supposed to go on."
I don't have a stage name. My real name is Kalani, so we can use that, or you can determine something that might work good for you. And while I have her, while she's figuring that one out, I am going to use my Akashic download spell. That gives me a +4 to my culture check to get information on this group and their music and stuff. So that hopefully will help me out some. So let's see. Culture is a +12. So
Ayo.
an RD20 +12 +4. I can do pluses. Hold on. +12 and then the extra 4. Yeah. Oh. R1D20 +12 +4. Ow! Ouch.
Never use the online roller.
Sometimes
Never.
sometimes it behaves.
Never.
I have had some good rolls.
Some.
We've been getting bad rolls on this thing all night. I don't
Been
know.
2 nat 1 so far.
In a
all
row
right next to each other.
from 2 different people.
It's up to you, Brandon. If you'll let me re-roll, I can do a regular roll instead of on there. Up to you.
die has been cast.
Or I can like recast it or something like.
So I will not let you re-roll because this is going to play perfectly for what the rest of the group, besides Joe,
Oh,
knows.
fuck.
Oh god.
Now it comes down to us.
I don't know nothing. He said it. I don't know nothing.
This is gonna get interesting.
Oh yes, it will.
All right.
I mean,
Well,
I'm sure. I don't know.
Goodness.
what can you do? Well, Joe, you could be maybe a hype man?
I'm booting in.
So, let me get this part finished up right here, and then I'll switch to maps and then explain what's going on. 'Cause,
Okay.
If it wasn't for that extra +4, though, it would have been a bit worse.
the door's open in front of you. Again, Ami's just dragging her feet going this way.
I'm like, I'll follow her. Come on, we can do this. I'm here to help however I can.
Once you step into the room, before making your way down the stairs, you see that right in front of the guards is like a platform that would have raised the both of you on it. So if you were to have a pose or something, it would be the first thing that people would see as you would appear on the mill. She begins to step on towards it, and she's just does another sigh, and you see. Let me make the roll. This roll is going to be behind the screen, so no one's going to know the result.
Ugh.
Oh my god!
Oh no.
Not either not good or
It's either a 20 or a 1.
yeah.
Guys, there's numbers in between them.
Yeah.
but on a
he doesn't use
reaction
it
like
or
that-
like that.
On a reaction like that, it's usually one or the other.
It's usually one or the other.
Wow. Okay.
Or it could be 12.
You see that, or it could be. You see that she is kind of just faking a smile at this point, and I put the result of the roll on Discord. Just
Uh-oh. Ah! Of course. God damn it.
Fucking called it.
Just nothing's gonna work tonight. Online rollers are dumb.
You rolled a fumble. Oh shit.
Wait, Brandon, roll the
This is
1.
not doing it.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. I think that's good. I think.
No,
But it's a DM roll and it's a 1. Usually that's good.
but it's of a person that's supporting us.
necessarily.
Oh.
Yeah,
sorry,
Yes,
I
this is
just
one of the
not in this
singers. This is
case.
Omni's
I
role.
wasn't even on the same map until just now,
Yeah.
so I didn't know.
It just shifted that for all of us.
so, Joe, to get you caught up with everything, they elected Kalani to be the representative to go talk to Amiyumi for the signature.
Sounds like a smart move.
So Kalani stepped forward. Kalani's mic was on the whole time, or comm unit was on the whole time.
Oh, wow.
So everything could be heard between your party and them.
Okay.
The guards that had the crushed rib cage gave all of you front row stage access or pass, where you would be right in the front of everything. In exchange for your weapons, no weapons being at the performance stadium. So after that happened, I told the group something, which I'll get to in a second. Kalani showed up, so we played Kalani's part. Kalani found out that through Yumi that Yumi has caught scarlet fever and hasn't told Ami, and their performance was less than 10 minutes. So she's like, look, like, don't tell her. about it. You know, I've just been feeling really sick. We got 3 more shows. We just got to get through it. And, you know, like, what makes me so sad is, like, I don't want to upset her. Like, I don't care about the fans right now. It's being a failure to her would hurt me. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Because I know.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
I know every once in a while, Discord will cut me off, so I'm just making sure. So Kalani found out she has scarlet fever, and she said, "Look, I will give you a signature if you fill my spot for the performance."
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then they were told we had 5 minutes.
Last minute. I have no clue what the fuck I'm doing.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Luckily, I have an okay voice, I guess. I don't know. She does.
I mean, you are kind of like a bard,
My
right?
character does know how to sing. It's just that she's not like a professional at it.
Right.
So at this point, Kalani and Ami are about to go onto a platform that's going to raise them up towards the top of the mill, and the performance will start.
And you guys get to see them.
Kalani is going to have a skill check. However, the result of how easy or how hard the performance will be will rely on the skill check from the rest of the party that is either going to try to, you know, help be a hype man or build up a reputation for Kalani in some way, shape, or form. Build off of the information that you got through the comm unit. So some things that were mentioned, like Jen mentioned at one point, like, well, I have computers, maybe I'll make like a fake website up and we'll just spread, you know, the news and knowledge of it. Another thing was Gunner notices that there are drones stationed at this thing. He's like, well, maybe if we could hack into one of them, I can pilot and put on like some type of show with that as well. Like just thinking outside the box with skills. And that's
like,
kind of where we are now.
So we're in quite a tizzy.
Do you want me to do the first computers check to create the false page to get people more into it?
Yeah, let's do that now.
Please be high. Please
Maybe
be high.
make it seem like I'm an up and comer, maybe, or like, you know, I'm a newbie up and comer.
The last and only star from LaJock.
Exactly.
That's 31.
That's actually like a good headline.
That one's good. My
Everyone's really, it's a professional looking website. Did you say you had a stage name that you was going to go by or anything? This would be communicated to your group, but I'm just trying to.
No, I just kind of basically left it up to Ami to determine if he wants to use my real name or a stage name for me. Because I'm like, I don't know, my real name is Kalani. I don't have a stage name. I mean, Kalani and Ami, I don't know how good that goes together. But
Ami and Kalani?
Ami and Kalani. And I tried to do a culture check, and as you see on Roll20, I didn't do too well.
And Brandon, you could let me know when I make the next computers check to try to get a hold of a drone, at least one drone.
Okay. I'll say the website is established at this point. So at this point, the platform is being raised. It is still going to take some time before the performance will start. So we're going to do.
I would say no.
Nah.
Unless
No.
all the other dancers are also in armor, I would say no.
But you do have like one of those big like skirts.
Oh god, I was just thinking, all those guards are essentially the tigers from...
That could be an option too.
Connell,
Yeah,
are we
I was
still
just
fighting?
wondering since heavy armor does give like a negative penalty to
Yeah,
like
don't do
athletics.
that. No,
Yeah.
we need as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Take it off.
The way you say that made me cringe a little bit.
Be up on stage in just a pair of pants.
A toner does that one meme dance with the guy that's like wearing the bandana.
That's
Oh,
how I narrow it down.
No, not that guy. You got that right, Vic.
Yeah, I have no idea what the song is, but it has like a heavy bass. And it starts with a guy like turning around.
Uh,
All right. So before I get to the skill challenge with Kalani, I'm not going to ask for an initiative, but the challenge with the skill challenge, you will need to have 5 successes before 3 failures. There are, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I have to take Havoc off. So if all of you succeed on one and then someone succeed on another, that's it. It's going to be just like all of our previous skills challenges. So whatever skill 1 the person before you used, you cannot use.
mm-hmm.
And whatever skill you've used previously, if this goes into multiple rounds, you cannot use that same skill the next round. So if you use stealth the first time around, you can't use stealth the second time around, and you cannot use whatever skill the person before you used.
I mean, that's easy enough for me. I already have my thing mapped out of what I want to do.
Yeah, depending on what the next roll is from Snow.
And I asked Ami, would it be okay if I mind linked with you? Might help a little more with me being able to do the music with you.
She like nonchalantly says, like, if you insist. You can see she's just a bit out of.
Because my next role would be engineering.
So I'm gonna have it in an initiative like board to see who wants to go first, who wants to go second, and we'll kind of take it like that per round. So with the first round, computers was used.
Yep.
The culture was used.
So with yours, I'm going to have yours separate because
okay.
their result is what's going to make yours easier or harder. If they fail, it's going to be harder for you because you could have a very rambunctious crowd that you'd be playing out to, or you might have one that's just like newcomer. Yeah, let's.
Yeah. That's why I suggested the mind link so I can, because I mean she has the lyrics, she knows it, so I can link. So I can at least do my best.
So with Snow using computers, who wants to go second, and with what?
I mean, I gotta wait on her to see if we can hack into the drones for piloting. That's the first thing for me.
Okay. So, Joe Brown, is there anything you see you can do to the cause to either, rile up the people or find some type of way to be a distraction maybe during the show or
So
something
I can do like you see at all those like Japanese concerts, and I can tie a little flag onto my glaive and wave it around in concert with the music.
Hey!
Oh, but they took our weapons away.
Yeah, that's right.
Then I buy
They may take our lives.
Then I buy an actual flag instead.
Yeah, I actually still have my cane with me though, don't I?
You did not give it to them, yes.
Yeah, I did not give them my cane.
So, Brandon, what role do I use for a vibe check?
Vibe check.
Roll for vibe check.
What skills are you trained in? I want to try to.
I mean, I'm not trained in vibing, but I could be if it's a thing.
It's a profession.
Fuck! I only have professional soldier, not professional viber. Fuck.
So you're gonna have the flag.
Maybe
The
athletics?
easy thing. Arm strength, yeah. I'll be kind of athletic with
Athletics.
I mean, if
I
that's a
guess
good skill.
does rhythm go under athletics?
that.
Between acrobatics and athletics.
16 plus 13, 29.
There you go.
Right?
Okay.
By the way, I did change the name of this session to Roll for Vibe Check.
Oh,
So 1, 2, a toner, and within this round, what would you like to do?
All right. Well, since Joberon took athletics, then I'll do acrobatics for my dance routine.
I love it.
Hey, whatever works, right?
A fucking online roller.
More.
telling you, don't touch it. Just don't.
It nearly made me fail drastically.
Okay, I updated the success and the failure. So far, the only failure was the dance routine. People see, or okay, let me go back to the computers. The what's successful? The website has been established, and like just talking to people nearby you, they like they look onto your comm unit and they see, and they're like, oh yeah, who's this person? I have to ask because on a roleplay level, we need to know. Were there pictures inserted of Kalani?
Probably, yeah, because Snow does have the memory thing from her AI Cortex.
So are these like from the asteroid pictures, like
There's
vacation?
one where she came out of a prison.
Right.
Yeah.
There's one where she got shot.
The vacation before everything went to shit. The only parts of the asteroid where things went to shit was while she was helping in the medical center.
She's also really good at photoshopping.
That 31.
I'll have to look that up later, Joberon.
Outside of that is basically whatever downtime they've had between just like the traveling back to Absalon Station or even like any time spent shopping.
Okay, so that's canon in the story. I promise that wasn't a creep.
Okay. So I had to do a roll. Because I can't access the drones yet, I guess I'll try and do a survival. And the way I'm going to work that, if you'll let me, is that because I'm so good at surviving, that I'm very good at understanding simple animalistic things, and I understand that if anyone has any reason to start a rhythm, that people will follow along. So like, boom.
Survival
boom,
the beatbox.
boom. It's like people get into a rhythm. So I'm thinking about like either headbanging at the gate, like metalheads, or like starting like a stomping for everyone, like almost like as a cheer.
Okay.
Start doing the ucha-chakas from Hooked on a Feeling.
Start
Ooga
shouting out,
chaka,
"We
ooga chaka,
will
ooga
rock
chaka."
you."
Pretty much. But it's like just for like, it's about the show's about to start, everyone's like boom, 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 boom. And try and get that started. That's going to be a total of 31.
Okay. So let me play off the acrobatics, which was a fail, and then the survival that was like success. So
the pants rip.
a toner goes to do a dance routine, and a toner starts to get booed by several of the people surrounding a toner. However, out of the group of people, one of them being a let me see, quick second.
Could I add on something to my thing?
I'm listening. I'm just looking for one thing real quick.
Because it just works with the beat. Ami, Kalani, Ami, Kalani.
One of the people is Bree, and she throws her beer at me.
You guys are so funny. I think if we actually manage to survive this and succeed, I'll pick up a rank or two in singing, being a singer.
I mean, there.
As a profession.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, great downtime to make some money.
In the center of the circle steps this human. They look to be like a rave type person, like no shirt on them, has Ami Uni like painted onto their skin with like this shiny paint or spray bottle on them. They're just gleaming with sweat all over them, and they point over to a toner as if he wants to initiate a dance battle.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
A dance battle at a concert. Sure.
They wait for the performance of who they think is Ami and Yumi. It gets followed with a chant started by Gunner that says Ami Kalani. They don't know exactly what they mean by Kalani, but they are going with it because now this circle has formed, and it's almost like
Just
a
infectious
circle.
People are so simple.
Oh yeah. Even the simplest people can be stupid, though.
It's like anyone at a hockey stadium, and they say, and the screen says "shout," and everyone just fucking does it. They don't know why or for what reason. They just do it.
Do the wave!
The way, wow!
3 successes.
And anyone who goes against it is just like
one more success,
disdainfully looked
and
at.
we still have 2 failures available.
All right.
Yeah, we need 2 more successes.
Yep, 5 successes before 3 fails. So,
I need that engineering. I need those drones.
the last check that was
me.
Survival. So we will now start this wave. It can be in any order. You can decide who's going to be the next person to make a check.
I mean, I could see about taking the drones, but would that be a computers or would that be an engineering?
We already did computers.
I count it as engineering because you used computers already.
All right, because I was gonna say, if not, then using engineering to help with like the pyrotechnics and stuff like that. And then if we go into a third round, computers.
I have nothing else to work with.
I don't think we're going to a third round, right? It's 3-1.
Like, I don't think we're going into a third round.
Yeah.
No.
3-1, and there's 5 people, so 1 will happen.
Is
Oh,
no
fuck.
one allowed to use something that someone else did?
I
No,
rolled
you can't.
for the engineering to get the drones. I rolled a 19, and it's plus 19.
30.
There you go.
There you go. There's a success.
So that was a success. Before I go forward, though, so the last person to go was Snow. Snow used engineering. So Blake, if you were to go, you would not be able to use engineering because Snow used it, and you would not be able to use acrobatics because that is what you previously used. In this case, however, since a dance battle was initiated with you, I will void that rule if you continue to do the battle, or if you decide to take the loss on that one, that might just affect you.
Go for it, man. Go for it.
But I swear to God, I use that online
That
roll.
was a success. So
You
I
might
will.
lose, but go
There's
for it.
4 successes and 1 failure. So it's up to
Yeah, I just
You got this.
yeah, Joe Braun, what are the stuff that you have?
Nothing. Piloting.
And which is what I'm about to use.
To move the
Sorry.
drone
I am the
around.
opposite of a skilled person.
I mean, we just need
Yeah, 'cause,
one more success.
Because athletics would be 1 point better than me, but I didn't want to screw over Joe Braun.
It won't get to me again. You're good.
choice is yours. Whoever wants to make the roll. Yes.
All right. So
I mean, I'm good to go now that we have the drones.
I'll do athletics this time and still part of the dance battle.
Okay.
You used the
Ow!
online.
Don't use the roller. Roll it yourself.
It's fine. Oh, this online roller hates us tonight so much.
I always hate the online roller. It is always a piece of shit.
I'm loving that it just put so much tension. Now you have to make it, or
Now it's all on Gunner.
All right, if nobody else is using real dice, I'll go. But if somebody else is using real
No,
dice, please
I've
go.
got real dice.
Okay.
I gotta make my piloting check, and I have a plus 18 to it.
I trust your dice.
Yeah, I've been using my dice because fuck
I
the
was,
online
I was,
roller.
planning, I was planning on using
Piloting the drones to just do
so-
some crazy freaking acrobatics. Do like one of those orb things from like the last Avatar when Aang goes into the fucking
No
Avatar
spoilers.
state. Okay, yeah, it's an 18 plus 18.
okay,
Nice.
Atoner, you continue to do the dance battle. You're not in your armor, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So
I'm in whatever wardrobe they would have put me in for dancers.
Can he take like a minus 20 because the other guy is super sweaty? Like the guy is just slipping all over the place.
I think it's I just got up and let me just go get a dice in case I need anything for anywhere else. And just out of curiosity, I rolled and I got a 16 on the die, which matches the total I got with the roller.
Wow. That's crazy, man.
That's why you always use dice and not the auto roller.
The dice, they'll get mad. The online roller automatically hates everybody because it's stuck in this program. The dice are loving because we freed them from their little plastic prisons.
you continue with the dance battle. People are still booing you at this point. Others are alongside with like the sweatier human. He's doing like the worm. He's tracking like all this mud and stuff on him, but people love it. Like just the energy of being surrounded by all these people, and they're like, "This guy, he's dirty, he's sweaty, and he still keeps going."
Go, Sweaty, go! Go, Sweaty, go!
Like not even know who this guy is. They're kind of rooting. They're like, "Oh, like he's all sorts of dirty, yet he still continues to do what he does."
Okay.
And they root for him, which catches everyone's intentions until these drones that are placed above everyone's head. These drones, most of them were monitoring out like visuals to other places, people that would have quote unquote like pay-per-view here. Watching this live stream of the show, these drones kind of do these different. What would you like to say they do?
Well, to get everyone's attention, they fly low over the crowd toward the stage, and then start going in like different patterns around the stages, like crisscrosses and going upside downs and doing stuff, and then maybe culminating into sort of like a sphere that they're all going in like different circles to create.
It looks great for people live, but anyone who has pay-per-view is now getting stomach sick.
Well, they can deal. I don't gotta pay for their sickness. I gotta pay for mine.
I think that's my favorite quote right now.
I don't gotta pay for their sickness. I gotta pay for mine.
Okay. So at this point, everyone is all hyped up. The excitement's all there. The platform is being raised. The any light source that was kind of lighting up the area begins to dim down at this point. And there's a light pointed directly underneath the windmill where the fan is, right where they would be raised up. You can hear, "Are you ready?" This is where I want to cut where Kalani is. Ami, who's standing next to you as the platform is getting raised, says, "Look, I appreciate everything that you said. I don't think Yumi would have told me what you told me. I'm a little hurt, but you are doing all this for like a good cause. If you can just make sure this performance doesn't completely suck, because my reputation is more on the line because she's not here. If you can kill this show with me, I will gladly give you that signature.
That's fine. I have some friends out in the crowd who've been helping pump up the crowd. Seems like they've been doing pretty good and helping us out with that. And I show her, it's like, yeah, I had my comm on the whole time, so they knew what was going on. And so they're like backing us up to help us as best as they can to get this going. I think we will be fine. We can pull this off. I know we can pull this off. I'm trying to like motivate her. It's like it can be pulled off. We can do this. You're the professional. I think I can handle this.
She says, I sure hope so. And she says, are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be. At least I'm a low voice like your friend, so it shouldn't be that bad. And I'm mind linked with you, so the lyrics wouldn't be. So I basically, as long as you think of the lyrics, I'll be able to sing along with you.
Okay.
That's why I did mind link. And that's why I'm gonna bluff my ass off while doing the singing part on stage, and that's why I'm like, yeah, my next check's gonna be that bluff that I rolled.
She goes to hand you the purple microphone that she was holding on to, which would have been Yumi's, and she says, all right, time to kill it. And she's gonna I'm gonna do this roll in front of you because this is gonna represent like her state of mind.
Purple's my favorite color too.
Okay, that's better. That's better.
That's a good one.
It's much better.
Before, you could tell she was forcing a smile, but now her smile does seem like a bit more genuine. It looks like it's a bit more real now. She knows it's go time. There's no time for excuse. People paid a lot of money for the tickets, and she's worried about her fans. She's not really worried about the money per se, but her fan base as a whole. And in a very high pitch, she goes, "Are you ready?" The same sound that the rest of the party's hearing. And as the platform gets raised, these fireworks kind of blow up from behind you. The windmill fan that's above you begins to spin. And as it spins at a very fast pace, for anyone who's having a hard time like seeing you because of the distance, it shows as if it's like a TV monitor as this is spinning really quick, showing visually both of your faces as the platform's raised up. Smoke spreads out in the air, and the windmill itself just has a different infusion of like earth-like colors on it. And this is where we get to your skill check. All right. So they had to do one with 5 successes or 3 failures. Yours is going to be 3 successes before 3 failures. It's any skill that you can think of that'll help, whether it's vocal skills to maybe nail like, a solo that would be part of a song, or just harmonic parts coming up, whether it's more like physical skills like doing stunts or tricks up there to make a name for yourself or anything like that. I'm going to let you decide which ones you want to do. Just know that whatever skills you choose, you cannot repeat them.
Well, as I said, my first one is going to be a bluff for like the audience. So I'm trying to bluff the audience, and I'm like, hey, what I'm doing, and that's where that rolls.
Okay.
So I try to bluff my way through being able to sing the music and whatnot, at being decent at it, since I have no idea what the songs really are.
Okay. So at this point, she the platform's raised fully. Everyone can fully see the both of you. And she says, "I would like to." Why you say it like? Why you say it like that?
No, sorry, I just went onto the Discord and saw Blake's GIF thing of the guy smashing his head into the ground. I'm like, oh, sorry. Now we're to what's happening.
Yeah, that would be me if I tried to do something.
I would like to introduce performing tonight with me, Kalani. Everyone make some noise. It's a bit mixed. You can definitely hear like the support of your friends, like just having some claps. You can hear maybe the adrenaline of people who don't know you but are willing to give you a shot, but with not really knowing anything about you at this point, it's like a mixed reaction that they're getting.
Of course.
As you go into like the first two songs, give me your bluff check.
All right. Well, I already put that bluff up.
24.
24 total.
16
Okay.
plus 1.
So what's the 24? We will actually have our first failure.
Oh,
Oh,
of
fuck.
course.
But that's okay. We can still make this up.
Hopefully, bluff wasn't your highest.
So you have the
No,
mind.
that wasn't. That was one of my mid-range.
Your mind linked with Ami. Ami does think about like what words are going to be said next, but you could tell she's still like emotionally drained. This her even the way that she's speaking and presenting herself as an icon. She has moments where she pauses, like she's used to saying Ami and Yumi, or like this is AM PM, and she like has to like cut herself from doing it. Like this is AM. Ooh, this is Ami and Kalani coming at you live. You know, type of.
Yeah. It's just because it's a little bit of a wrench.
So when you are mind linked with her and doing the first two songs, you try to stay in tune with her, but your voice is slightly staggered behind her, so it doesn't sound like an echo per se. It sounds like you're off. Some people are just riled up on energy and they're still cheering, but a lot of the claps that you got it's slowly like less and less claps to play off the fail. Ami looks over at you and she's like, "We're gonna have to do better than this. My fans don't seem happy. How about this one?"
We can do this. We got this. Don't worry about it. I'm just trying to keep her up. I'm like, we're doing this. All right, so because I bluff failed, I'm going to do a I'm gonna do another diplomacy to make it seem okay. I kind of intentionally foobarred this a little bit. You know, I'm new. Make it seem like okay, I'm new. I screwed up a little bit, but I will be better. And so I'm gonna like diplomacy my ass off of this. And I'm using expertise to add to my diplomacy the D6 roll. So my diplomacy is a D20. Come on, 20.
Let's do it.
And I rolled a 17.
Total?
And then 17.
I was worried too.
My 13. And then my expertise is another 4.
Why are you scared, Brendan? You're not the one who has $150,000 debt on his hands.
Doesn't mean I don't worry for you.
Oh god.
Yeah, that was success. Let me see.
Yeah, so that would be a 34.
Oh, diplomacy?
Yeah, with the diplomacy.
type and everything. So diplomacy was used, bluff was used. Bluff was a fail. Diplomacy succeeded. So this time around, the next couple of songs that you do, you take a bit more of an initiative and kind of take over the mic. At some points, you don't speak over Ami, but you kind of put like an extra bit of pizzazz in your voice. You're starting to win over more of the fan base. At this point, I want to, because it was mentioned that you was going to try to do like some type of pyrotechnics, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to have you make that skill attempt just yet, but I'm going to just remind you about it. So when I get to that point.
Yep.
Okay. So you have won some more people over. It went from being mixed, like half and half mixed, to less than half of the people to now back to mixed. I would say like closer towards the end of the first act of the performance is almost done and going on to like the second act. She's starting Ami at this point. She's not whispers, but she removes the mic from her face and she's like, "Look, you said your friends are here to help. Like, what did they do? Like, do you what? How are they able to help? Do we bring one of them up here to like dance or something?"
I better get my dice ready.
I've been practice rolling, and I've got like 6.
Guys, do you have anything else planned?
I got nothing else. I've done everything that was high except for acrobatics.
Snow always
And
has
perception.
other plans, so she always keeps herself busy.
So you said, because you were saying that you were gonna do like a pyrotechnics thing or something.
Yeah.
All right, I rolled for whatever is going to come up if I do anything.
You want to try and do some dancing and?
I can certainly try. I mean, if the roll, if it's that, it's yes. I just rolled. I just need to know what the modifier is going to be if I do something.
It's up to you. She's just asking this before they go into like their second act, and if they can do well in their second act, then maybe an encore will be put.
Yeah.
Means you'll let me do acrobatics.
You guys
I was
have
about to say
any?
the three of you are fairly athletic and should be able to dance.
I mean, yes.
I can do
I'm acrobatic.
He can do acrobatics.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to dance, but like show off.
I'm doing them flips.
Yeah, do those
The
flips.
Don't give either of us the mic.
The only reason why my athletics is as high as it is because my power armor. So no, I'm not going up on stage.
Brendan, will you allow me to use acrobatics? Because I know we've been going by the rules of, one thing and then it's not allowed to be used again.
Go for it.
Okay. That's a 19 plus 12.
31.
All right, the crowd's all riled up. This skill check that you have right here is going to be an easier DC than the previous one was.
I'm just breakdancing. I put the 2 cards back out and I start breakdancing on them again.
It's a good thing you guys didn't call on me because I just rolled and got a net 1.
So with this one, it was just to see if the DC would be easier or if it would have stayed the same. So it's kind of like it's like that middle part of the show where they're like, oh, like we love our fans and like everything that we do for you and this and that. You're kind of in the fans' perspective and you're like, all right, like we need to hype this up.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of Star Show Combat. Like you just gave the +2 to the fucking thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. I like it.
I'm just freaking tightrope walking the gate and doing flips.
So Kalani, going into the second act of songs and everything, she kind of looks at you and she says, "You ready to kill this thing?"
Yeah, let's do this. We're there. We can do this. Let's finish it off.
Yeah. What is the next one you want to use? Diplomacy and bluff or both?
Right. I'm trying to look up my stuff here. What I have. If anything, I have extra skills at.
Yeah, whatever you are at the highest, you want to use that.
So
I know.
that's the challenging thing with her skill check is like you know what skills you have and you have to prepare. Like even if you choose your best skill and you roll a 1, you have to know like like I can't use these.
Yeah.
So this is much of a challenge as like everyone else with not being able to use.
Let's see. The diplomacy, the bluff was done. Trying to think on how, because my two highest skills are perception and mysticism. I'm trying to see how I can form that into something that would help. Because diplomacy is already done. I could probably do another culture thing. And use my my Akashic power, connection power, to access the Akashic record in order to help me with my culture. Let me double check here real quick.
I will roll you can use mysticism in this case as having almost not like a magical influence, but the effect of you being a mystic, like using your voice.
Like an ethereal aura to your voice.
Exactly.
You're a ghost.
So culture, I'll try using mysticism then, since that's my next highest.
Now, do you want to play towards your skills? You just
Yeah. I'm going to try and play up my skills to the situation. That's why I was wondering if I could do another culture.
If you roll in that one, it's just going to be one of those YouTube meme dogs howling.
I mean, I would understand
Vicar
their
Amelia.
culture. I would understand their culture a little better and be able to get to the audience a little more. It's like, hey, you know, I pay attention to the audience too, type thing. So it's up to you, Brandon.
I'm good with it. I'm saying go for it.
Because with the culture, I'm going to use my Akashic record connection. Hold on real quick. Grab my connection. Yeah, because I mean, I can probably do. Would I be able to do another of the Akashic download spells, since I've only used it once and I have 4 spells?
I'll tie that in with one of your skills.
Yeah, because the Akashic download will give me a bonus of +4 to a skill check.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tie it in with one of your skills. You decide.
Okay.
You do know out of character. This is going to be an easier DC. That is all that I'm going to.
You're welcome.
So my culture is +12. Yeah, I'm gonna just go with the mysticism, because that's a +14. The Akashic record gives me a +4 to a skill check. Let me double check that real quick. I want to make sure it's nothing in a certain skill in particular. Akashic record. And let me find the spell here. Let's see. Come on. Making sure I'm pulling up the right stuff here. Hold on. Akashic download. Yeah, so it just gives me a +4 bonus to the knowledge check. So I'm going to use my Akashic download. I think I'm going to go with the culture again. And use the Akashic download. And because it's culture, can I also use my expertise again on that as well?
If you'd like.
So, okay, the culture basic is a +12. So that'll be a +16 with the Akashic download spell, plus whatever is on my 20. I got a 16, and then a 3 on my expertise. So a 16 plus 16 plus 3.
35. Sound right, Joe? 16, 16, and 3.
16 and 3 is 19. What was the other one?
Another
16
6.
plus 16 and 3.
19 and 16, 35.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a success. So as we go into the second performance, the with the windmill, the actual fan part of it stops blowing at this point. There's no nothing visually seen on it. Once it comes to an immediate stop, you see, and it's hard for them to see at the angle that they are beneath you, but these two backstage managers come over to you and give you these backpacks to put on. And she's, with her being used to it, after the backpack's put on, she presses a button on the right strap and begins to hover. And she says, how about I get a little bit closer to some of my fans? What do you say, Kalani?
Let's do this.
And you both begin to just kind of hover like about 25 feet, 30 feet of ground. Nowhere that's one within Joe Baron's reach, I hope.
Nothing in the pyrotechnics reach.
Nothing that would be in reach of any of the guests, and nothing where, like, if someone was to hop on their shoulders and try to like leap up to like I love you or something, that they wouldn't be able to grab on and leech onto either of you two. So although Ami is using this as like a way to kind of cope with getting closer to her fans, you do know that she's from Verses, and this is Absalon Station, a place that she hasn't really visited before. And you just offer like these small, subtle things that you like. You know what really makes us happy as entertainment is high-fiving our fans and like things like that. And she kind of goes along with it, kind of confused at first, and you just kind of mention these things like culturally that like Absalon Station people don't typically get to do, but they would value Ami and yourself for doing it. Like, yeah, no one ever does this at concerts, and you use that to your advantage. Now you have more fans, and Ami seems more like anticipated to blowing this show out the water at this point as you get your second success.
Sweet. All right.
Just typing that in. Okay. So you start to kill it for the whole beginning of the second act. As you get towards the end of that second act, what skill would you like to use?
Let's see. What do I have on me? So I did that.
Try spinning. That's a nice trick.
Do a barrel roll.
Stop, drum, and roll.
Do a barrel roll, Star Fox.
Hurry, put on those click-clacking shoes. That's exactly what we need for an anime pop synth concert. Tap dancing.
I don't have like a
What we really need is some intense yoga.
I know I don't have like a dazzle. I have like a daze spell, but that probably won't work well.
Really
That's not quite what I'm looking for.
God, this actually would have been a perfect time for Mads to be here and using that spell.
Yeah.
To dazzle everybody. It's like,
Like
ooh,
Song of the
this is so cool.
Cosmos.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I don't have anything that would be like really a wow type situation spell.
I mean, you don't
I mean, I
need to
can
use
throw
the spell per
projectiles,
se. You
yeah.
just need to roll decently.
Yeah. Let's see.
You got this. It's 2 successes to 1 failure. I say it not to jinx you, and I promise I say it not to jinx you.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. I think I'm gonna probably just use like a perception to see how the crowd is. Just like basically play off the crowd, knowing that, you know, let's do some of these things that aren't usually common, but they would appreciate. And I go with the, okay, these guys are like really appreciating this type of stuff, so let's, I'm perceiving this to continue doing the cool, you know, some cool stuff like that that's apparently not the norm.
I think that's
so
a
my
good use
perception,
of perception. Yep.
my perception's at a get over here, plus 15.
I was gonna say Vlakin should have a decent perception.
Yeah. That's a 19.
On the die.
Yep.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, it's good to specify if it's on the dice or
Yeah.
total.
19 on the die plus the 15.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got it.
34. Yeah, definitely success. So I'm not even gonna type that one right this second. That was definitely success. You just like you said, you're a bit lower elevated. You're like more in tune with the crowd. You're slightly above them, doing these like small gestures that they really appreciate. And you, as you said, try to just read off the crowd. Like, what do they want? What are some unique things that you could do that they would want, that they would appreciate, and be like, this is the best show ever on her tour. You get a glimpse of just
I'm like in this, I guess, jetpack thing. I go over to like maybe like a random kid or something, and go down enough to where it's like kind of like arm dance with her as I'm like up in the air, and I have like I like bring my arms down to hers so we can like arm dance or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you grab I'll say a young fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you grab a young
Some
fan.
young fans in the front, and do that. At least make her freaking day with the perception.
You grab one of our youngest fans, and like a nice gesture, you bring the youngest fan closer towards Ami. You raise her a bit. The young fan's a little bit scared. She hasn't really experienced like her feet not touching the ground before, so she's kind of like shriveled up in your arms. You bring her closer to Ami, and Ami like compliments her with the microphone in front of her, and like gives her like a kiss on the forehead, and like signs something for like maybe a magazine or something she was holding on to get signed. And they're just like, yeah, this is great. When you take a look just around other things besides that, like towards the entrance of where everything is, it's a bit of open space because everyone's budging to go forward and closer to where you both are. You can see like people in the back part of what I'm calling the stadium, like trying to make like last minute like merchandise. They're trying to keep their AM PM thing on it, but they like one of them has like Yumi's name crossed out and has like Kalani the way that they feel it would be spelled.
Starbucks style.
Yeah. So you see like another person in the back, like just trying to do like a quick sketch of you and the moment right now with you holding this child to put like on the back of a t-shirt design. They're trying to see if they have any type of like tech they can use to kind of replicate it at a fast rate where they could sell this as
Yo,
merchandise.
I gotta say, with this moment, it'll be perfect with the website, like I said before, where Snow had put like the picture of her actually working in that medical center.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, she has a background of helping people.
So you see like these small little attempts being put for you as well with your perception. People who didn't really know you before are also like trying to promote, I guess in a way, market from you as well.
Market it a little bit as fast as I can.
But you see that you're really like in favor of the crowd. Although Yumi isn't here, they are enjoying your presence in Yumi's place. I'll even say like during this time, she may mention to her fans that Yumi is sick, and that it's been an honor to do this performance with you along her side in such a sudden moment. Um, when she looks over to you, she takes the microphone. She's like, I seriously thank you. This means a lot to me. She like a bit of like a tear come towards her eyes. She's like, it's you made my fans happy today. You're making me happy. It is towards the end of the second act, and she does like to wait a bit before giving an encore performance. So she is taking you towards the platform. The platform lowers just enough to be out of sight. The windmill part begins to rotate again, showing like that neither of you two are up at the top. So when that platform would raise again, everyone would see you. So at this point, everyone's going for an encore. Your successes are over your failures. As the platform is lowered, she moves the microphone away from your friend or away from her mouth and says, "Would your friends like to join us on the stage?"
I'm like, hey, you guys want to join us on the stage? And the offer's there.
I mean, might as well, but I'm not gonna be dancing.
I'm going to be in the back.
I take my flag and I hop up on stage, like all yelling and shit.
And Snow's gonna be making her way up, full power armor, and Jubilee's still like being that extra bit of armor.
I'm on Joe Brown's shoulders.
I love it.
Kamikaze dog.
Turner walks up, still rubbing his neck from his failed dancing attempts.
Oh. Yeah, but that guy can't say he got on stage.
Okay. They're still going for an encore. As the platform raises, she says, "Absalon Station. Let's give another round for Kalani." And they applaud. And myself, Ami. And you watch as beneath you, the windmill itself, it looks like the terrain from underneath of your feet is kind of transforming into like this. It's probably easier if I just show you the map. You see it illuminate from underneath of you, and where all the people are, you don't see them anymore. It looks something like this. Let me just take this.
Interroll initiative. Oh no.
where this light is just purple light is illuminating from underneath of you, and everything surrounding you. The crowd isn't really there. You can hear them cheering you on and things of that nature. When they look through the fan part that's spinning rapidly above you, they see what you see as well. This, like, I don't want to say astral projection, but like this astral plane type thing that's there in front of you. And she's like, go ahead, walk forward. Like you won't get harmed here. This is also part of the
I trust you. I'm trusting her as she's trusting me, so I do what
she steps forward. She has you step forward as well, and she says, which one of your friends wants to join us?
But Joe Baron's son kind of like itching to get on stage.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like Joe Baron, come on up.
Woo! I jump up.
She says it over the microphone.
Wait! I use my dimension door.
Yeah. Oh god, can I go there with you?
Sure.
I mean, I said I was on your shoulders. I just want to make sure I'm
actually allowed to take one creature, medium or smaller, with me.
Well, there you go. I just don't want to be clotheslined by a freaking gate.
That's great. Can I take you with me?
So I appear on stage in a purple haze.
And I'm just there on the shoulders.
Yeah.
Just placing everyone real quick. This is like a small scene. I don't really need to use the stage, but I'm just adding to it to add to everything.
So it's like, yeah, my friend Joe Baron and Gunner.
And she says, "Oh, that," and she's like, "Oh," and she tries it. She takes this opportunity, and she's like, "We want to thank Kalani. And these are some of her fans and supporters." I'm assuming at some point one of them two or someone would mention the website, like the website that has your name.
I mean, I literally can't. So Joe's gonna have to be the one to do it.
What am I asking?
You're basically telling everyone about the website that's dedicated to Kalani that Snow made, because if I say it, I'm just gonna be cursing everyone out.
If you guys want to check her out, you can go to, and I say whatever the site is.
Blah, 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 Kalani, blah, 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 blah.
And you do so, and she goes. She gives. They both give the final performance. You're still mind linked into her, so the words it's just easy. That you've been singing for over like an hour at this point. It's easy to pick up what words are said, what, and just you being the lower voice, she's being the higher voice. You kill the end of, or you kill the encore with like a 2-song performance, with it ending with that platform shining again and saying Ami and Kalani. Is at this point Snow, the pyrotechnics?
Do it! Do it!
That is a nat 20 plus
Nice!
19.
39.
You go right off of my face.
Yeah, Snow's just sitting in the crowd, like, what was it? You know, the girl from Spider-Verse? How she's, like, kind of grooving while doing all of her computer stuff? Snow's pretty much doing that in the crowd, and she just kind of balls up her hands together and flicks them forward towards the stage, and all the pyrotechnics end up going off in sequence.
Yeah, Penny Parker.
So you give just a hell of a performance. There's pyrotechnics, fireworks, just the loud sounds of the fans that you've now established for yourself, and Ami's dedicated fans as well. The platform's beginning to lower, and Ami says, Ami's just trying to like just welcome your friends, and like, so you're friends of Kalani's. Nice to meet you both. Who are you? Just trying to be like a nice guess.
I'm like, this is Joe Baron, this is Gunner.
I just wave.
One of my other friends. her name is Snow, is out in the audience. She was the one that did the pyrotechnics.
That was some pyrotechnics too. That was awesome.
Yeah, she's good with the computers and mechanical stuff.
So, as the platform comes towards the bottom, the 4 guards that were stationed there all applaud and look over to you and like, you did a good job. It seemed like it was your first performance at first, the first couple songs, but you really stepped in there. Good job. You head up the same stairs that you went over towards the dressing room. Yumi isn't there, but keeping to her word, there is a paper there with her signature on it. And as soon as Ami sees it, she does look a bit sad again at the moment, but she's like, as promised, here's my signature. Thanks for giving everyone a hell of a performance for Absalon Station.
And I'm like, Gunner, what were the kids' names?
I don't fucking know. He never told me.
Oh, okay.
He just told me he had kids. I don't even know if that's true. I wasn't spying on this fool. He just was extorting me.
I mean, he was like, man, I thought he was a silent person, but boy, is his language.
I didn't say it.
Oh.
I'm saying this all through the little comm link. Because I'm not opening my mouth until I get this fixed. So I'm just like typing this in and like showing her.
Well, and I let her know, it's like, yeah, that friend that has that affliction that the doctor helped with is working on trying to help with. This is a gentleman that has it. one of them.
Wave.
She's like, well, I hope this was good for the cause for the doctor. Thank you for bringing Kalani here to fill in just with everything. I don't think this show would have rocked by myself, and I appreciated the assistance.
Thank you for the signatures. You did a good job. I'm just like typing this in.
And he's like,
we need to get Gunner a text-to-speech program.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is John Madden.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I posted a video clip earlier of how Snow is currently talking through Jubilee.
I was telling Yumi that I was wanting to check everybody else out to make sure that it didn't spread to you or any of your close guards. She was telling me that she's had these symptoms for about 4 days now, so it seems like you were at Castrovel before you came here.
Yeah, the last performance that we had was over at Castrovel. She's been acting a little bit unusual since our performance over at the Sun, but I've just tried to be a friend and be there for it.
Yeah, she might have, because I believe the incubation period is about a week for this, and she said that she's seen symptoms for like about the last 4 days. So it sounds like when you're between Castrovel and the Sun. So I was wanting to check everybody else out, if you don't mind, to make sure. Then we can basically get rid of it before, if anybody does have it, we can catch it before it gets to the stage that she has it.
Sure. That sounds good. I mean, is this we're gonna be leaving tomorrow. Is this something you could do overnight?
I can do it with my sensors.
I can do now. I'm like, I can do now, between now and tomorrow, and I can make sure that you guys have the medicines and what's necessary.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's make it happen. And you see, she's not emotionally drained; she's just actually drained. The performance took a lot out. It was not her normal routine that she normally does, so she's just a little more drained.
kind of not the norm for her, the poor thing. So I start with her, and I do like medicine checks.
And
on her and
can I also
everybody.
help with medicine checks on the others?
Sure.
Because I have a 16 in both life science and medicine.
Sure.
I have a 12 in life science. I have a in medicine, and then of course I have actual medicines on hand, med patches and stuff.
It's a
You said
27 on my end.
everyone that you're both checking, no one else seems to be affected by it. In fact, when you do check through everyone else, Yumi keeps herself kind of locked in this room, the same room that had the computers in it. She just doesn't seem like she wants to be disturbed right this second. It's easy to assume that she watched the performance through that computer system, or tried to at least. But
That's
every
right.
guard, yeah.
I had changed the password on the computer.
I realized it after I said it. It was like, oh, try to. But all the other guards, nothing's coming up. It matches with her saying that she like kept distant from everybody. You're not seeing any rashes or red bumps or any resemblance of that on anyone.
Nothing on any of my scanners.
And for each of them, for each of them, I'm like, okay, looks like everybody else is good, but look out for these type of symptoms. As soon as you start seeing any of these symptoms, you need to quarantine. Make sure it doesn't. We don't want it to go rampant around the rest of your group here, your tour group.
And yeah, she takes in everything you said. Physically, you didn't see any signs on them, and then yes, Jen, with the scanner, you also didn't pick up any like signs of anyone affected by it as well.
Well, my thing, if I rolled a nat 20, I'd be picking up all other kinds of medical issues and having to tell them about it.
Yeah.
Your cholesterol is way too high. Eat some Cheerios.
Start eating properly. Start being a bastard.
Telling them about their other problems that they have.
Yeah, I give the how many do I have? I have 2 sets of antibiotics on hand, so that probably is going to help Yumi out, and the 2 sets of analgesics as well for any pain associated with the rash and her sore throat and stuff.
She's still trying to keep herself locked in the room, but
Right.
obviously I'll hold on to it. I can get to her, but something's clearly affecting her. This might have to be something I'll talk to her on tour about.
Yeah, I know she was keeping it from you because she didn't want to burden you and didn't want to cause you any undue stress. So I think as long as she notices that you're okay and it's like, hey, everybody gets sick, it happens, and you guys are like all over the place and you pretty much hop from like one place to another in like a day or two, so that's very stressful, and that can make your body go have issues with illnesses and stuff. You can pick up stuff pretty quick. So I think as long as you can reassure her that that you're okay and things went fine, I think she'll be all right. And just make sure that she gets these medicines, and I let her know, how much that she can take at a time, and give a couple of my Mark III serums of healing too. That should probably help as well.
She super appreciates like everything that you're doing. She's like, look at, and anytime you want to like collab again, just let me know. The people here really seem to like you. You're great in my book, so just, if that opportunity ever comes up, let me know. But I'll do what I can to take care of her.
Yeah, Brandon, kind of want to say that while Snow is checking up on especially the guards, he's going to congratulate them on actually doing a really good job.
Even the ones with the crushed rib cages.
Yeah, they held out for quite a long time.
They're still alive.
So yeah, basically, I give her both of my Mark I analgesics, both of my Mark I antibiotics, and 4 of my Mark III serums of healing for Yumi in the group.
And 3 Mark I essential oils.
So hopefully between all that stuff, that'll, help them out some.
Also, it's after 10.
Yeah, I was just going to make a comment on that. It's a little after 10. So actually, before I wrap this up, I'm going to take 30 seconds or a minute right now to play this one part out. Or maybe I should say fast forward to this one part.
Okay.
Because I need a good cliffhanger spot.
Oh, no.
Gunner.
No, leave me alone. Leave me alone, Brandon.
That's
Yeah,
just not leave him alone.
Gunner, you got your
Okay.
signature.
Yep, I got him.
Heading to the doctors, right?
I mean, I'm going. The thing is, like, if I'm going with me, a toner, and Havoc, since we are all infected.
Okay.
I'll come too, because I'm bored.
Okay, cool. Joe's with us.
Snow would also probably go as well.
Okay, so everyone's just coming with.
Yeah, we will probably pretty much all going to be going.
All
Show
right.
up in all of our armor and weapons.
Of course, get our armor and weapons.
So about that debt.
So you head over to the what was it? A temple?
Yeah, it's the temple.
Yeah.
I don't remember who god it was.
It was Mo Day, wasn't it?
I don't know. I only know about Desna.
It was we head back over to the temple of Iomade. It is late, but when you do arrive, you do see Dr. Manis, the doctor that was taking care of you there, and he kind of just applauds at first before you even approach him with your party members, and he says, "Well done. I was told that you made it onto the screen with Ami."
Yeah.
He looks over to
I
Connor.
kind of like watch a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I'm not used to this.
I just put it in my comm, perhaps.
He's like, "And is that the signatures?"
It could be.
You gotta hand him over.
That depends. You gonna heal me and my friends? Because last time I tried to do this out of the courtesy of my heart and trusting in you, you put a bill of $150,000 on me.
Do you
So
say
heal
that?
first, and then you get your picture.
Do you say that, or do you mention it in that like way, shape, or form?
I'm saying it like in the comment. I'm like doing it very frantic. I'm like, okay, take a breather. Backspace, backspace, backspace. Heal me and friends first, then you get your picture with signatures.
He looks at what was typed up and he says, "Look, I'm sorry that the bill for the assessment was so high.
I just wanted to use you. What?
I'm working. I am working.
What type of assessments did you do? Because I would never charge that much for my uses of skill because
He's running a mega church and
I'm
you are.
also a healer.
How do you think he got a mega church?
Mega churches don't build themselves on charity, maybe.
Yeah,
You know?
mega churches on Absalon Station, that is some prime real estate.
He says, "Oh, look, I am working towards a cure to fixing the rhetoric affliction that you." And he looks over to the ones around you. He notices that they're not speaking. He says, "I'm assuming you also have it." And he kind of looks at everyone that isn't Kalani, everyone who hasn't said a word yet.
And Snow is actually going to speak up with her own voice as a test. I have no idea if I have it or not.
Well, you sound like the average person.
Interesting.
So then I'm just going to point to me, then a Toner, and then a Havoc.
He says, look, I'm going to work towards a cure to fixing all of this, to get rid of this rhetoric affliction for you and your associates, your allies, colleagues, so be it.
By the way, Doc, we didn't have a easy time of this either. And I mean, I had to take over for one of the ladies because she was sick. I'm glad I did as well as I did. But yeah, not too pleased.
Yeah, I apologize about that too.
I don't tend to put myself in the spotlight like that for a reason. Now I have to deal with newfound fame. I guess that could be a good thing. But I mean, I'm a mystic, just like you. So I mean, I'm more of a behind the scenes type person who likes to help others. I mean, I might charge something, but that, I don't know what you did, but I would never charge that much to somebody. I'm like being a little stern with him. I'm like, I don't know, how good, because I'm like, I don't know how good of a doctor he is and how hot.
I'm just going to be typing in my thing. I don't care about all of this. Just tell me when I can start talking again.
He takes a look at your device as well. He says, look, I'm working towards the cure. With this rhetoric affliction, I'm going to need whatever radiated onto you and your allies that have this. I need something that, like, whatever radiated from it, I need something that's heavy radiation of that, like a sample of something from it, so I can kind of extract and work to see what counteracts against it. Now, what you did out there was honorable in my eyes. It means a lot to my son and my daughter, and I appreciate you for doing it. So from this point, I will work towards your cause free of charge. I will work towards the cause of healing your allies free of charge, but I would need a sample of something that has a heavy radiation of whatever that was that affected you.
Brendan.
As soon as he says that he needs a sample, a Toner just slowly turns to Jubilee and just gives her like the most flat expression ever. Just like he doesn't say anything, but just gives her like the look.
And Snow's gonna pull out a bit of the computer components.
And I asked him, like, well, what kind of samples of would Shadow Plane?
Snow is actually going to pull out a bunch of the computer equipment that was in the area as well, and offer it up as like, you could see if any of this has it on it.
And he takes a look and he says, I will look into it. It will take me a little bit of time, but I will look into it. And he looks back over to Gunner and he says, I'm sorry for the outrageous pricing for the assessment. It was, like I said, it was mostly due to just the components and time that was put into it. But you did write or mention to me that the... Oh, sorry, that said something. You did write or mention to me that you've had bounty hunters insurance, and when I went to look it up, it didn't seem to be valid.
I'm immediately gonna start going into my own like bounty hunter log, figure out what the fuck's going on there.
All of your information is erased, and that is where we stop.
Fuck! Ugh!
Does he
That's
yell
it.
that out loud?